In a world plagued by reboots, haunted by sequels, dominated by the same old shit, get ready for an original podcast that will gouge out your eyeballs and skull fuck you. Starring Ginger Josh, Adam the Hair, and introducing the immortal Frank. Hold on to your butts. It's the Game Rage Movies TV Podcast. Oh, yeah. Welcome back again to Game Rage. We need to rename this podcast again.
but we still haven't come up with anything better, so it's still Game Rage Movies and TV.
That was just a little inside baseball for you. That was what we decided we were going to do. Everything would be called Game Rage whatever, and then when we came up with a better name for it, we would change it. And some of those things have happened.
That's true.
But some of them, like this one, have not. We have not come up with a better name than Game Rage Movies and TV. So that's what it is. It's going to be this until we figure out a better fucking name.
Yeah, I can't tell if we're lazy or just that uncreative or both.
It could be a little bit of both, I feel like. But anyways, today, we're going to talk about Severance.
Severance.
Episode number 4.
This show makes me want to sever my fucking brain, dude.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
With all the brainwashing and the creepiest part about this show is the Egans being treated as gods or it's just very strange of how this whole operation, like why, if you were going to sever people from themselves to have another persona underneath this basement area of a fucking corporation or whatever the fuck, why the fuck are you brainwashing them into a goddamn cult? Like, why? If you just want them to do basic things like doing clerical work or being janitors or doing R&D, like have them do those things. You don't have to do all this weird biblical shit about like the paintings with the O&D, because I did watch further ahead and saw that they kind of explained, well, the paintings are very strange. Like,
yeah.
They're very, very fucking weird. The Kira Egan is like painted as this messianic figure. It's fucking weird shit.
Yeah. It is very fucking weird shit. But anyways, if you want to find out answers to Severance before season 2 comes out, I heard that if you listen to Game Rage Magazine, you're 24% more likely to figure out the complete full story ending of Severance than if you didn't listen to Game Rage Magazine. I don't know. And you can do that by going to YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, Game Rage Magazine. Also, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official and listen to the All Gas No Trash podcast, where it will likely be shut down due to negative things said about Scientology. Also, if you like anime and manga
from the Japans,
you can go to the Anime Syndicate podcast and you can listen to that. And you can also follow Frank on Instagram at anime_syndicate_podcast. And if you do follow Frank, send him a DM after you follow with a Game Rage fact, potentially one of the ones that we've said in the past, or make up your own. Because Frank finds those funny for some reason. But they're true. I don't know. See if you can make him laugh. If you can make Frank laugh on a DM, we'll send you $5 in Roblox bucks.
I don't even think they have gift cards for that.
No, I thought they did.
I don't even think you can do that.
How do you get Roblox bucks then?
I'm talking about a $5 gift card.
Oh, you got to send them $10?
Something like that. I think it's like 15 bare
Well, okay,
minimum.
we'll send you whatever the lowest number denomination is in Roblox bucks if you can make Frank laugh in a DM, all right?
Yeah.
On anime_syndicate_podcast on Instagram. All right. Now to get to Severance.
Yeah.
Severed. Episode number 4. What was it called again?
I don't know. Shit.
The You
that
You Are.
We really didn't even get to the book itself. That's
Man, that is true. Like we just got to see like that opening, like the page or whatever, the first page or whatever.
yes.
But anyways, so Mark, the episode opens up with the phone ringing on the floor, underneath the thing.
Pete's old phone.
In the basement. And I will say, this was a little sketch for me because the phone's and then he like opens the door to the basement and then goes down there and goes straight to the phone. Like, how did you hear that shit from all the way upstairs? That doesn't make any sense, but all right, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
No, it's not impossible. You know when you're jerking off and
Yeah.
you have one earphone in and you're like, you're looking around.
So wait, so you're telling me that he was jerking off while this happened? Then pre coming down there, because you do have heightened senses when you are jerking off.
No, I'm not talking about him jerking off in that instance, but rather because he jerks off, because his wife died, that he has heightened senses because of his prolonged masturbation. His prolonged activities of masturbation, that he has heightened senses because that's how he's able to pick, like Daredevil, but because he jerked off a lot.
Instead of being blind, he's just because he jerks off a lot.
Yeah. Especially with Miss Cobell walking into his house unsolicited.
That's true. Uninvited. So anyway, so he basically picks it up right after it stops ringing and he sees all these fucking block numbers that have called it. And then we get to Irving. We go back to the office. And in the last episode, or no, I take that back. This happened in this episode. He comes in, what's his name? Irving from Optics and Design, O&D. He comes in, he visits, and he says, I just didn't know if you guys, I didn't want to lower your numbers, but because I told you were so excited about the new tote bag. And then Bert's like, yes, the tote bags. And so he said, the best part is fucking Dylan, when Irving walks in, he's like, hey, get the fuck out of here. Like,
and he pulls out a stapler.
Yeah, and he's gonna shoot him with the stapler, and he's like, what are you fucking doing here? And he's like, I just wanted to give you these because I didn't want you to get distracted and harm your work. And
is that your attempt at fucking doing a Christopher Walken?
Yeah, it's shitty for Christopher Walken. But anyways, he basically, Dylan tells him, hey man, write the directions in reverse and go fuck right off. Like, get us out of here.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, the directions are reversed in the bag. And so then he gives him fucking the thing. And literally like 15 minutes later, Bert's like, because Irving tells him, anytime you guys want to come by, just come on by.
Yeah, but he only did it to throw off the fact that he was only really interested in him. He's like, oh yeah, Irving can come. Actually, all of you can come.
Right, yeah. He just, he said that, but okay, obviously. But then it's funny because then like 15 minutes later, Bert gets up and he's like, I'm going to O&D. And he's like,
Irving.
No, Bert gets up.
15 minutes later?
Like right after Irving leaves.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
no, wait.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Right after Bert leaves, Irving gets up and goes, or no. Yeah, he goes, I'm going to Optics and Design. He's like, I'm going right now. And then Mark tells him like, hey man, isn't it a little too quick? Like he was just here. And he quotes something from the handbook or whatever about like seizing the day or some shit, I think. And he's like, okay, I'm going now. And then he just leaves. And so he goes there and they're gonna be gay together 100%. Like there's no question about it. And there's these two old men that are like, they're gonna fuck, all right? It's happening.
Yeah, they're getting hot and bothered over
paintings.
Some Egan paintings or some bullshit. And they're reciting the handbook, which was, man, talk about like a Bible-like resemblance to this handbook or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so then they even touch hands.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, oh. Are you embarrassed? No, I'm not embarrassed.
No, I'm not embarrassed.
Do you think anybody saw?
And so then, Helly is still being an asshole.
She wants out.
She's going back and forth. They're showing like the break room shit with her, and she like starts to get to be where maybe like she's starting to quote unquote mean it or whatever, and then Milchick just says, "You're paraphrasing. Say it again, correctly this time." And so then when she finally does come back out, she looks like fucking haggard, all right? Like she looks fucking toasted.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, how many times did it take? And she's like, 1,029. And then he's like, God damn, that's a lot of fucking time.
Yeah.
And he's basically trying to tell her how to like stay out of the break room. Like Mark's trying to tell her like, listen, these rules exist so that we don't end up in the break room. So like quit fucking rebelling and shit. And then she's just like, okay. Uh-huh. And then she fucking goes like and grabs a fucking paper cutter. And she goes into fucking, what's her name, Selvig's office. And she's like, I'm going to cut my fucking fingers off.
Yeah, she also, just before that, she also told Mark, like, oh, yeah, that's fucking great coming from you, knowing that you're hiding these photos of Pete.
That's right.
And you're like, you fucking bootlicker.
Yeah, she called him a bootlicker because he fucking had, because he had the photos and it was the map on the back.
Yeah, he's breaking the rules and
then
shit.
they all figured out that whatever, like, old Dylan was there because this is when, what's the name, Irving was gone. And so then they're like, she's like, yeah, you're a fucking bootlicker. Like, oh, that guy was supposedly your best friend and like, you don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck, Mark. And then he's like, you know what? You're right. And he walks over to the fucking shredder and he shreds the fucking map. And I was like, oh, damn, that was a mistake there, buddy.
Yep.
And you can see like his lumen programming kick in when that happens. Like when she says that bootlicker comment, he immediately goes, you see his look change and he goes into like bootlicker mode essentially.
Yeah.
And he's just like, see, I don't give a fuck. Get back to work, bitch. Like, damn, cold-blooded.
Yep.
And then anyway, she goes into Selvig's office and she's like, yo, I'm gonna cut off my fucking fingers if you don't give me a thing to record my resignation. So they give her they record the video. She says she wants out, blah, blah, blah. She quits. This is bullshit. So they give her the fucking, the message, and then she walks out the elevator. And then she comes back in the elevator
with the disc in hand.
The disc in hand. And she's like, oh, fuck me. So she sits down, they watch the video. And dude, outside Helly basically tells her, you are not in charge. You don't decide anything. Once you realize you're not actually a person, like this is when you will learn. And you need to learn this. You don't get to do shit. And she's just like, oh, fuck. Demoralizing. Then we get, they do that whole thing with the book. They find the book, what's his name? Mark's brother-in-law's book that Milchek had.
The you that you are.
Yeah.
By Ricken, whatever the fuck his last name is.
Yeah, they find it, fucking, what's his name?
Dylan?
Yeah, Irving tells him that he's like, I have an emergency. And then they go and he's like, look what I found, contraband. This place is just rife with contraband today. And
we went in the conference room.
Yeah, it's in the conference room. And he's like, I was on my way returning, and I noticed this in the conference room, huh? And so he's like, he tells him like, well, Dylan's like, well, what should we do with it? And he's like, I think we should keep it. And then he's like, nah. What does he say? He said, enjoy no other or revere no other works. It's like some weird quote from the handbook that's like a biblical of saying basically do not worship false idols.
Yeah.
And and I'm like, God damn, that is harsh. And so Dylan wants to keep it. Fucking Irving wants to destroy it or turn it into management. And Mark's like, oh yeah, I'll turn it into him or whatever. And then he reads because they open the page and he reads and says, oh, it's addressed to him. And he's like, what the fuck? And so then he ends up deciding to keep it at the end. He hides it. Where the fuck did he hide it? I don't remember where he hid it, but I remember he specifically hid it somewhere.
I thought the Milchek dude, or that was the episode before, right? That the Milchek guy,
he was reading it.
He was reading it, right? And then they've managed to stumble across it,
because he left it there.
Yeah.
He must have been reading it in the conference room when that whole thing with Helly punching out the window or whatever happened.
Yeah.
And so then basically, Mark is gonna go to Petey's funeral. That was fucking weird.
It was.
Very weird, very awkward. The daughter of Petey fucking clearly hates people that are severed. And it's a very strange deal as to why that dude even fucking did it to begin with.
You talking about Mark?
No, Petey. Like, why he
Petey,
even got severed to begin with. Like,
oh, shit, man. Well, maybe it's him having a family that he's stressed out and this is his way to cope, like, or maybe he didn't want to have kids, he got married, because it said the woman that was part of the funeral was his ex-wife.
Yeah, his ex-wife. Yeah.
So maybe he couldn't keep it together.
Yeah, who the fuck knows? So then basically Mrs. Selvig goes there with Cobell, or Cobell / Miss Selvig goes with Mark to the funeral.
Right.
And it's basically because she needs to get that chip back. Like, she needs to get the chip in his brain out.
Yeah.
So she goes with this fucking drill suction thing and just fucking sucks that son of a bitch right up while they're watching this video of them playing fucking, what was it? Enter Sandman or whatever the fuck that was, that Metallica song.
The weirdest part of that scene was the camera angle that was shot from like inside his brain.
Oh yeah,
and you get to see the hole and the fucking thing. I was like, oh
yeah,
that makes me uncomfortable.
That tickled the interior of my skull when I saw that. That was very strange. And so then she gets it. They get out of there. Petey or Mark's like, I can't fucking do this, and she's like, oh, okay, let's go. And then they leave. She goes back into the office and she's like, here, I got this. She's like, send this upstairs to the fucking whatever.
Yeah, the worst part, I think, is within that little conversation, she's holding up the severance chip or whatever, the little pill-shaped thing. And she's like, oh, this is Petey.
Yeah.
Not his body, not the person that he was. This
is him.
This is him.
Yeah.
That shit was wild, dude. Because I don't know. That's how convinced they are that this is the real person right here. This little goddamn chip-pilled thing. That was quite the dialogue to have come out in that scene.
Yeah, so now my theory on this is that they have something to do with cloning. That there's some kind of cloning thing going on here. Mm-hmm. Because that chip has PD, like inside in any PD on it. And if they can put it back in his body, oh shit, then they can still get him to come do work or whatever in some other fashion or what have you.
But why even bother why even bother creating a real person to begin with, and why not just make clones that are just going to do the work and don't even need to have a personality or anything? I mean, because they mostly have a clean slate when they go down there, right? And their personality develops when they're in that environment. But that doesn't really matter because they still have to functionally do their work or all that bullshit. So why even bother making clones, or why even have these people to begin with that are signing up for the severance thing if they could just make clones to do the work? If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. Or maybe this is how, as we see later on, that O&D has an entire fleet of individuals down there that are essentially unauthorized. Maybe that's how they're doing it is, when someone dies, they take their chip, and then because their personality changed, because it's the inside personality, and they died technically, maybe they come back with those traits or they develop those traits with their innie of what is in O&D, and then they want to fucking rebel or take over or whatever, or be just ruthless. And so maybe now O&D, that's what they do. They take your chip, and it's all just a conspiracy to fucking take over again or some shit. I don't know. But in any case, she sends that to fucking whatever they call it, maintenance or whatever the fuck they're gonna send it. And God, he just walks right over you. What a dick. Gives no fucks. Then essentially she wants Cobell wants Miss Casey, she calls her in the wellness lady, to perform a special wellness check on Mark. And so she's watching it remotely, and she has him make this fucking make his emotional state out of clay, and then he sculpts this tree, which we then find out that his Audi visited to remember his dead wife after the funeral. And I don't know if it happens in the next episode or if it's the one after that, or if it's later even in the series than that, but it's interesting. You'll see.
Okay, I got a question though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, wait, did we even get to the end of the...
at the end. Okay, so anyways. Oh, that was when he goes to the thing and he sees all these other assholes working in this massive back room. Irving. He goes back to O&D and he sees all that shit. And then, oh, that's right. Dylan finds the book that was hidden in Mark's files. And then at the end of the episode, Helly fucking rolls. Okay, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ha, pretending to be all nice. Walks up, takes an extension cord, ties it to the fucking top of the elevator, puts a trash can, and just fucking hangs herself right at the end of right inside the elevator. And then that's how the episode ends.
Yeah.
Pretty intense. But anyways, what's your question?
All right. So, man, okay, I don't remember if it happens in this episode when the security guard or the person that reports to, not Milchek, but the other fellow that like reprimands them.
Oh,
takes them to the
G-Man guy?
Yeah, because there was something that was said to him, and I can't remember if it was this episode or the one before, where she based the Miss Selvig or Miss Colville said something to the effect of calling this guy a mama's boy.
Yeah.
So is there a position like based on their trauma or the thing that they experienced?
I don't know. I don't think they ever get into what that's about yet.
Okay.
As far as I remember. There's some shit that happens. I think it's in the last episode when this thing happens. It really makes you question the whole fucking nature of the entire fucking show almost. Because you're like, what the fuck? So and that plays into my theory about like cloning or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, but we'll see if that we'll see when we get there. But yeah, this was episode 4. You said you already watched 5, right?
I did.
All right, cool. Well, whatever. We'll talk about that after we're done here. But
okay.
Anyways, do you have any other shit to add about this?
No, I think the mystery of this show and what happens with all the characters, I think I'm more interested in like the auxiliary characters than I am with Mark. I don't know if I find them all that interesting. Like I think I care more about the Irving and Dylan shit, like his conspiracy theories about the other departments.
Yeah.
I think Helly being a problematic figure and trying to rebel, even because I think you've mentioned it before that this isn't her first time doing this shit or whatever it is, that she constantly ends up rebelling. Her innie ends up like rebelling. So, shit, man, who the fuck knows if she ends up making it to episode 9, if she just ends up killing herself, but she might have plot armor. So
yeah, very well possible.
Yeah.
So anyways, all right, well, that'll be the end of it for us. So stay tuned for the next one, Severance number 5. All right, if you want to listen to more of our shit, go to Game Rage Magazine on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe there. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Go follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official, and follow Frank at anime_syndicate_podcast on Instagram. All right, that's it. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Oh, hey there, buddy. It's me, 1930s announcer guy. Here to congratulate you on making it through this episode. As our heroes are getting in their jalopies and riding off into the literal sunset, they wanted me to tell you thanks for listening to their radio broadcast, and should you be so kind as to follow them on some fancy schmancy radio station publication called Instagram and TikTok at Game Range Magazine, and on some other thing called Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Also, they wanted me to inform you and ask if you could be so kind again as to visit something called a website at www.GameRageMagazine.com. I don't know what that is, buddy, but you should probably go do those things. And, don't forget to tune in next time to the Game Rage Movies and TV radio broadcast.